What's going on, guys? I hope you guys can see me and hear me. I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I want to say welcome to the Black Financial Channel, theblackfinancialchannel.com. This way you can get daily financial news and commentary from a Black perspective. So make sure you subscribe to theblackfinancialchannel.com. It's a Black-owned news and financial commentary site that is owned by us, and it's for us, and it focuses on our issues. Anyway, I wanted to talk about something that I was asked about recently. You guys know I teach in the Black Business School, and one of the things we talk about are life strategies for economic success. We talk extensively about that, particularly given that the economic struggle is huge for Black people. There are lots of people who are really having a hard time out here, and the world's changing. The world's getting worse. What's up, Michelle Martin? I see you in there. Thank you for all the hearts. I appreciate you. Michelle Martin is one of the smartest Black people I know. This conversation linked back to something that I've thought a lot about, something I've read a lot about, something that I want to kind of advise you on, if that's something that you're interested in hearing. Now, if you're interested in just hearing the same bullshit that you hear everywhere else, then I'm not your guy. But if you're here to, accept this basic idea that a different perspective is the key to having a different outcome, then I can help you with that. A lot of us are in the struggle for reasons that are actually quite predictable if you look at the data. I look at the data very closely because that's what I did. I mean, as a financial scientist, that's all you do is you look at the data. Everything's about researching data and data analysis and writing computer programs and all that. And so I've analyzed wealth quite a bit in terms of what's going on with America, what's going on with the world, and particularly what's going on with Black people. Here's what triggered this thought. Here's what triggered, me sort of having this conversation. Now, somebody says that you can't hear me. If you can hear me and see me, give me a yes or no if you can hear me and see me. Can you hear me and see me? Give me a yes or no. I want to see if it's just this person, or if it's everybody. Yes or no if you can hear me and see me. Okay, give me a yes or no. All right, so here's what I'm waiting on the response. Let me just take my time so I can wait till you guys respond and let me know. Can you hear me and see me? Can you hear me and see me on Facebook? If you can hear me and see me on Facebook, let me know. If you can't hear me, can you hear me? If you cannot hear me, let me know. Charles says, what happened? Okay, I don't see a yes or no there yet. So I'm going to check the Black Financial Channel and see if you guys can hear me and see me. Give me 1 second here. Let's see here. All right. Okay. All right. So yes, you can hear me and see me. Okay. So you guys on YouTube can hear me and see me. All right. And so here's what I want to go into. All right. So this article was shared to me that had two Black women that basically wrote a story or wrote an article for Huffington Post where they were explaining why they chose to become co-parents. They explained why they got together and decided to raise their sons together. Both of them were single moms. Both of them had had their relationship ups and downs. One of them had been married. The other one had never got married. And they decided, hey, why don't we get together and just raise our kids together as a team? And this was this revolutionary idea that is really not as revolutionary as you might think when you really think about how economic success is achieved. The revolutionary idea was, wait a minute, whoa, two people living together who are not actually husband and wife, raising kids together, working together as a team. Oh my God, whoever thought about that? And the reason that idea appears to be revolutionary when it's really not is because, we're used to this nonsensical idea, this Eurocentric idea of rugged individualism. A lot of other people around the world, if you go around the world, a lot of cultures don't buy into this rugged individualist nonsense. Like they actually understand that if you want to achieve big things, you have to come together, right? Think about this. I mean, you look at, in America, we take this great pride in raising children without any help. I did it all by myself. I'm doing everything all by myself. I'm being the mother and the father all by myself. I'm doing it all by myself. And then, and the thing is that sometimes we're doing it all by ourselves, but we're doing it by ourselves badly. We're doing it by ourselves, but we're not really doing it in a way that's actually beneficial to the children. We're doing it in a way that actually is harming the kids. We're doing it in a way where the kids are not getting what they need. We're doing it in a way where the kids are not being properly educated. We're doing it in a way where the kids are being assaulted. Maybe they're being molested by somebody's boyfriend or whatever, right? So, so this idea that, so doing it by yourself does not mean that you're doing it well by yourself. Can we at least agree on that? Can you at least understand there's a difference between, being a parent and being a good parent, right? Having a baby does not make you a good parent. But then again, this is not a guilt trip. This is not me sort of attacking you. So here's what I got from this article. So I saw these two moms that were talking about how they were basically raising these kids by themselves, and it was kind of a big deal. Again, this revolutionary idea that that Huffington Post thought was so brilliant, different, and unique and amazing. And and my thought was, oh, I get it. Okay, so basically what they're doing is they're planting an override for the single motherhood trend that we have in America, right? So you have a trend in America where we're really sort of leaning toward this idea that getting rid of your spouse and going off and doing it all by yourself makes you into like a hero, right? Like that's a good thing, like way to go, this is really awesome. Whereas you notice that the involvement of the father has become less and less interesting for a lot of people. A lot of people don't even feel like the fathers are necessary for raising kids. And you're seeing the kids sort of seeing the effects of this. Like the kids are showing the effects of fatherlessness. Like the girls grow up, can't have healthy relationships. The boys grow up and don't know how to lead a household because the father wasn't there. And so here's the thing. Single motherhood is actually one of the best, most efficient ways for you to end up in the midst of financial stress and devastation. Single motherhood or single parenthood, not just single motherhood, single parenthood is basically where, imagine you go to a company and they've got two jobs that are done by two people working full time. And then they ask you as one person to do that job, the job of two people. Some super employees can pull it off, but most super employees are not going to do it very well, and they're going to be worn out. They're going to work themselves into the ground. So when you think about parenthood, it's not just a matter of coming up with the money. It's also a matter of coming up with the time. It's a matter of coming up with the emotional energy, all the things that are required for parenthood. Alicia and I have to constantly coordinate when it comes to parenthood. We're constantly coordinating. Okay, so you're going to be at the office tomorrow from 9 until 6. All right, well, I'll be able to, watch the kids until you come home, and then I'll move my meeting till 7, till 7, so that we can have time to do that. Okay, you got to get Taylor to dance class. Okay, well, you take her to dance class, and then I'll take the other one to whatever soccer practice, right? It's a constant, like we're running a business basically. We're running an organization called our household in terms of how we're having to sort of constantly move balls around. We're constantly having to, keep a lot of irons in the fire. And so the idea of trying to do that as one person, it doesn't mean it can't be done. I mean, Black people are amazing. We can do anything, right? But it does mean that it's not a job that's meant to be done by one person. And so what you see is when you see one person, and so many examples, I mean, this is not the exception. This is now the norm. You see a lot of examples where children are being raised by one person. Well, that's one of the reasons why the person with the lowest net worth in America, economic net worth, the lowest net worth in America is actually that of the single Black mother. I don't know if you guys know that. White females, their net worth is maybe 40, 50,000 or whatever, because they, in many cases, are more likely to have the white man next to them, bringing his money to the table. Single Black females, single Black mothers have the lowest net worth of anybody in America. Black men are probably somewhere in that mix too, because Black men who have children and they're not living with their kids, they're getting hemmed up by child support. Child support is destroying them financially, and so that's why you have a lot of guys that literally have to go underground and do what I would call self-marginalization, because they can't afford the payments that are necessary to take care of a child. So so this HuffPost article, which was really fascinating, was written by two Black women who basically talk about how they as moms got together and chose to live together in order to raise their kids together. The first thing a lot of people thought was, okay, maybe they're dating each other, like that happens, right? It's just, okay, it's a relationship, right? It probably is. I'm not judging. That's one thought that I had. The other thought that I had was, the idea of working together is something that should come to us just naturally, right? That doing it by yourself isn't actually the way it's supposed to be done. Think about this. Give me a yes or no. Give me a yes or no. If you're going to start a business, is it better to do it all by yourself, or is it better to have business partners? A partnership. Yes or no? Is a partnership better, or is it better to do it by yourself? Give me an answer to that. If you are out and you are trying to win a Super Bowl, you're trying to form a sports team, a football team or basketball team. Is it better to try to do it all by yourself, or is it better to have teammates? Which one? Answer that question. It's better to have teammates. So when you're talking about raising a child really is like running a business. It really is. I mean, you have this little thing, just like a baby business. A little baby business requires lots of care, lots of protection. You got to protect it. You got to grow it. You got to develop it, right? So, the same way a baby business takes a lot of energy, baby children take a lot of energy, and you need lots of inputs and insights, right? So having more than one person working together is a natural thing. I think that these women are going to do better financially because they're doing that. I think that this idea of working together can be expanded not just to children, but also to homeschooling, things like that. I've always been a believer that a group of dedicated parents will always do a better job of educating a group of children than the public school system. The public school system sucks. Can we at least agree on that the public school system, when it comes to educating Black people, it sucks? You got Black kids coming out, can't halfway read, and then when they can read, they idolize slave masters before, and they don't even know who Marcus Garvey is, but they'll tell you all day about a guy like George Washington who used to rape and murder slaves for a living. They think he's a wonderful guy, but don't know anything about Marcus Garvey. Well, a lot of the public school system is an indoctrination process that's preparing you for slavery. That's why so many Black people are losing. That's why a lot of your kids are so far behind as adults. So I believe that a group of parents that get together and form an informal bond where they just say, okay, we're all responsible for all of our kids. We're going to create a little urban village right now with these 20 kids that are going to be under our envelope. They can educate those children better, especially with the internet and all the books that are available. You can educate your kids better than the public school system can. So the other thing that I kind of want you to just sort of understand is that, we need to kind of really understand what's happening here when we are expecting that children will grow up without a father in the house. Like now, it's sort of like everybody starts off saying, oh yeah, of course both parents will be around. But for whatever reason, it always ends up where the father's not there. It always ends up that the relationship came to an end. It always ends up that it didn't work out. It always ends up that there was a divorce. It always ends up that there was a breakup. And what I really see, honestly, because I've worked on, with Boyce Watkins films, one of the film projects we've been working on for a long time, and we actually made part one, was called the Black Love Blueprint. And that led to an intensive study of relationships in the Black community. And why do all the relationships end up in the same place? Not all of them, but a large percentage of them. Why are there so many kids that are born and don't even have both parents in the delivery room on the day that they're born? What's happening? Well, I believe you're letting white people tell you how to have relationships. I believe that you're internalizing the same BS that they believe in, and you're in these power struggles in relationships. I don't know. Whatever you think it is what it is. But there's a solution out there, and we're not looking for the solution. What is the solution? And so because you got to fix it. Because look, managing your relationships is probably the most important business strategy that you'll ever have. The relationship management, the ability to have a baby with a motherfucker and stay with that person and work together to raise that child properly is going to be one of the most important, most significant financial decisions that you will ever make. Seriously, I mean, if you can't do it, if you're not going to try to do it right, then don't fucking do it. Keep your pants on. Stop it. Stop making babies and not taking care of them together. I'm not even judging anybody, because I mean, I paid child support for 18 years. So I'm the last one to sit here and act like I'm holier than thou. But I am here to say that even with myself, I had to realize, well, wait a minute. Okay, I'm sitting here trying to build something with this woman. I need to really study the process. So we have a therapist that works with our relationship. We read books about relationships. She sends me audio about relationship stuff. And sometimes we even argue about that. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, that's some shit white people believe. I don't let white people tell me a bunch of shit about how I'm supposed to be a man. They don't even want black men to be men. But at the same time, I take in the stuff that works for me, right? Or if you talk about just the time that it takes to just figure out a way to get along with people. Part of the reason that black wealth drops is because black people can't get along. Black people are very quick to cut each other off, to want to, just dismiss somebody or whatever. And you might feel better because you're all by yourself. You're isolated again in your little bubble. But guess what? You're going to be in that bubble losing all by yourself. You're going to be sitting there broke all by yourself. So the question becomes, how do you figure out a way to make these relationships work without just going through life, letting things fail, and then blaming other people every time? Like, seriously, this is another warning sign. I put it on Instagram. My Instagram is the real Boyce Watkins. If you guys want to go check it out, it's the real Boyce Watkins. I put this on the gram, and this is something I really believe. If you date a person, be very careful about dating a person who describes their ask them about their last 2 relationships, and see if they go 2 for 2. If they go 2 for 2, here's what will happen. If they go 2 for 2 and they blame both of their relationships on the other person without taking any blame for themselves, without even reflecting for 1 second on something they might have done wrong or a choice they might have made or whatever, don't date that person, because what's going to happen is your relationship's not going to last, and they're going to blame you for the next breakup. You're going to be the one who's at fault. You're going to be the one who was abusive, or you're going to be the one who was, whatever, right? People that can't take any accountability for the condition of their life are typically people that you don't want to tangle with, because they're going to blame every fucking thing on you. Seriously. So that's just kind of a thought. I really think that, when you look at this whole epidemic of children not having both parents, and I'm not judging single parents at all. This is not me judging. Like, people are stupid. This is an example of how dumb the world becomes. When you talk about it, they don't want to talk about it. So the way they stop you from talking about it is they'll try to say, you're attacking single mothers. Ain't nobody attacking shit. I'm attacking the problem. I'm not attacking the people who are impacted by the problem. I'm attacking the problem. And if you don't attack the problem, then the problem will attack you. So those stupid little tricks, I see right through them. And I don't think that we should allow those tricks to keep us from talking about what we need to talk about. What we got to talk about as Black people is that our relationships are not lasting. And so whether you do what these 2 women do, sure, you work with what you got. You're a single mom. She's a single mom. Y'all got kids. Yeah, working together might be a great idea. I love what they're doing. I think it's great based on where they are. But let's say that you're not single moms yet, and you're going to move forward in your relationships. You haven't had any kids yet. You haven't got married yet. Maybe you're looking for a relationship. Well, pick the right kind of person to have a child with, somebody who values the idea of being a father. And then 2, work hard, like put in the time and the energy necessary to maintain a good relationship with that person, so that you're not paying all the bills and doing everything alone. You're not doing it all by yourself, as if it's somebody else's fault that your life is what it is. You always have some role in the process, and never let anybody tell you anything different, because relationship management is a very, very important part of your investment strategy. And if you don't make that investment, then guess what? Your relationships will fall apart, which will distract you from your financial outcomes, right? It'll take away your time, it'll take away your money, and then it'll also drain you emotionally. It's very, very difficult when you're being drained of time, money, and emotion to then go out here and go conquer the world and go make $1 million. That's extremely difficult to do. So don't put yourself in that position. Take good care of your relationships. Pick the right people to have relationships with. Pick sturdy people. And I'm talking about not even pick the right people to have relationships with. Pick the right people to sleep with. Some of y'all out here sleeping with some old ragamuffin ass, piece of shit ass people. Seriously, like Steve Harvey's daughter, Lori Harvey. She's basically going to be single mama number 6. She's dating Future. Future has a track record of creating single mamas, babies mamas, like all over the country. Like, why would you in any planet or this planet or any other think that your situation ain't gonna be just like the other 6 or 7 single mamas that are out there trying to struggle and trying to do it all by themselves? I know the sex is good. I'm sure the sex is good. I mean, that's why he gets all these women. But I mean, you got to decide. Are you willing to really sacrifice your mental health and your happiness and your financial freedom for sex? If you are one of those people, that can't make that trade-off, that doesn't have that discipline, then guess what? You deserve to be broke. You're gonna be broke. You're gonna be in the struggle. You know, what you're doing is you're mortgaging your future. You're saying the sex right now is so good that I'm willing to suffer for the rest of my life because I want because I want that ass, or I want that dick, whatever it is you're chasing, like you want it that bad that you're willing to go through hell for the next 30 years and have your children go through hell because you know the guy ain't shit. You knew he wasn't shit when you met him, but somehow, some way, you just thought that because he looked good and had some swag, that somehow you could change him, or somehow he was a person that you wanted to get with. And I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to tell you how it works out. People that think that way, who think in terms of short-term gratification, don't do very well. So when I talk about investing, I cannot talk about investing. You guys hear me talk a lot about finances and investing and all that. You can't talk about money without talking about relationships, because almost all wealth that's created is created through relationships. If you can't handle relationships, can't create positive and productive relationships in your life, then you will have no wealth, because you're bringing a bunch of broken people into your space, and all they're going to do is leave you broken at the end. That's just my 2 cents on it. I just had that thought on a Saturday night, so I thought I would share it for anybody that wants to listen. But feel free to ignore it if you want to. It's totally okay. I totally won't get offended if you ignore my advice, or if you think I'm being mean or whatever. Well, guess what? Life is going to be meaner to you if you don't make good choices with yourself. So anyway, I'm about to go. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. If you're on Twitter, please retweet this conversation. And also, if you want to join our League of Intelligent Black People, feel free to go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. Some of you like to ask me questions, stuff like that. I do private Q&As with the people that support the channel. So if you join intelligentblackpeople.com, you will be invited to our next private Q&A. There won't be that many people in here like there is now. And you'll be able to ask questions, and I will answer every single one of your questions. So go to intelligentblackpeople.com. I'm out of here, guys. Have a good night, and I hope that this advice was helpful to you. Sometimes I say things and it sounds mean and people get mad at me, but somebody got to be mean to you, because that's how you get prepared for the future. So I'll see you later. Have a good night. Be good.